to the dynamic learning hub of XLR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We have also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. XLR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
Good afternoon, dear faculty members. I hope you all doing well. Good afternoon, Saurabh sir. Is I'm audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah. So you can take over the class, sir. You can start the session for the day.
Just allow me 2, 3 minutes. I'm setting up the stuff, okay?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, so hello everyone. Issue must. I hope I'm visible to everyone, audible to all. So,
Yeah, yes.
sure. So, I think, yes, yes, many of you have texted regarding the link, okay, that code yesterday's no. Yes, I have already have it on my GitHub, the way I've shared that particular link with you. You can just access it there. And he wanted a bit simple format, so I'll just share you that, show you like how that is built, so that you can understand how things are working in it. So just allow me a second. Just a second. Yeah, I think I'll directly share it itself so that. Okay. Yeah, so as you asked for the simple ones also, right? So along with the one that we have, right, advanced, basic, and everything, intermediate, we have also set up this sample setup also, right? So you will see here. I've created three different folders for that. Just a sec. So yeah, you can just see this example, right? Raw example. So in this now you can see we have basic prompts, intermediate prompts, and advanced prompts. Every single thing is there. And along with that, I've also added this README file where very clearly all the things are mentioned, right? What it is, how it is, how it is written. Every single and smallest of the things is written. Okay, in the basic prompt, if you go, you will see that very simple examples are taken. So as you said, okay, you don't have to worry about let's say importing the different segments or writing very structured codes. It's like bit straightforward now, just like a simple env we have loaded and simply written the simple functions. That's it, right? Simple functions, and simple functions. Okay. Apart from that, we have not taken. Got it? And you can see this is a UGS example also that I've added. Now, in the second one, in the intermediate prompt also, you can see exactly similar way we did it. We again have few short prompting here we added. We have added multiple examples over here. Similarly, a chain of thought I've added over here. And the self-consistency means it's just like instead of implementing it into let's say five different folders and the way we did it, right? So instead of that, as you asked, so we have just added it over here. So you can see it's raw examples, and in that you can just find all of them, and you can also find a readme file. Along with that, I have also given the complete readme file over here. Let me show you now. Yeah, see tutorial.readme, you can see, right? So you'll see all the different complete tutorial is present, how the structure is created, understanding of smallest of the part, how we are writing different files. So all the things from the very basic till very advanced, everything is done. Got it? So yeah, I think that's all. Please let's have a quick recap of some of the previous important topics. Okay, so if I talk about the preview about the last few topics that we have seen. So on a very first day, we started off with understanding the complete history about what exactly generative AI is and how exactly the field of data science evolved. And we came to a conclusion, came to a part where data science now is like one of the biggest things that we have currently. Okay. After that, yesterday and day before yesterday we talked about a lot of different prompts, right? So we talked about open source, we talked about closed source, we talked about both the different types of types of let's say LLMs that are available. We talked about Mistral, we talked about Llama, we talked about ChatGPT, we talked about you know we let's say we talked about Anthropic. So like this, we talked about multiple open source and closed source LLMs that we have. Then yesterday we specifically implemented the complete prompt engineering, right? So we started off with simple prompts, right? We understood how to implement simple prompts. Then eventually we started to understand what is few shot prompting. Then we thought of what is chain of thought prompting. Then we thought of React based prompting. So eventually we covered all the different types of prompts are there. So that was a completion of complete prompt engineering that we have. So now guys, today the main sure, let me share this link with you. So yeah, so to everyone, I have shared this link and on the this one. Let me yeah, Sushmita ma'am, if you can just pin this message now, if it's possible, so that all can just get that, or maybe you can just take it and share it on their group or whatever it is. Okay. So now guys, today I have one of the most important topics to discuss, right? I mean, you can just imagine this was like you can consider this as a magic that happened in this field, okay? Like it was like a magic that happened. Now you might say, okay, when I say magic, like what exactly it is? So see, first of all, there were a lot of issues with the classical thing, okay? If I talk about issues, right? So there are like multiple, ways this classical Gen AI was failing. Okay, there were multiple, reasons why this classical generative AI was failing. Sorry guys, it's like too much of disturbance. Now what we'll do, first of all, let's try to understand like in very simple terms, okay? So we have one simple thing was there, what exactly the RAG is. And before that, we'll try to understand why exactly this RAG is called as a game changer in AI. Okay, so that was like we call it as so RAG was domain. Okay, RAG was considered to be let's say a complete game changer into this particular domain. Now, before let's say going in any details about technical stuff, right? One very simple thing I wanted to tell you, right? Whatever this RAG is there, right? So it is just simply called as a retrieval augmented generation. Retrieval augmented generation. Okay, in very simple terms. So means what? We try to retrieve something, we try to augment that something, and then we try to generate some kind of response from that. Okay, so that is what is exactly called as a RAG. Now, before let's say going here, now first of all, let's try to understand. There were a lot of different problems, right? There were different problems that a simple or classical generative AI was facing. And out of that, the first problem was something called as hallucinations. So when I say hallucinations, right? Now let's first of all talk about different things. Means what? Let's say, just, hallucinations, right? I think hallucinations, no? Okay. First we talk about hallucinations. Now imagine, let's say, now if I tell you, it's, now see again. Now, when I talk about hallucinations, right? So first of all, let's understand what exactly the hallucination means. So one simple thing about the simple, no, let's say simple generative AI was, it was sometimes, it was generating the very incorrect or misleading information. Okay, it produces incorrect or okay, it produces incorrect or misleading info. Now, yesterday also I told you about, let's say someone asked, right? Someone actually asked me the question towards the end, like, uh, like how exactly we can actually try to reduce such kind of responses when you get such errors, and it's very much normal, right? Let's say whatever ChatGPT is giving you the answer, so if you have the knowledge about that domain, let's suppose now, let's say you are a trader, okay, and if you ask ChatGPT to do a certain thing, right? Let's say maybe predict some kind of stock for you, or maybe let's say try to ask about some kind of patterns to it, right? So it is pretty much sure that as a professional you will definitely disagree with a lot of things that it is saying. Okay, you will definitely disagree with a lot of different things that you are saying. Now, when I say that when you disagree means what? ChatGPT is trying to give you the answers up to the knowledge that it has, in which is in already inbuilt. Whatever let's say data it is trained on, it will only try to give you that particular answer. And whenever it do not have the knowledge about it, it will give this hallucination answers. Means what? A random and incorrect answers. So just to make up, we say no, okay, yeah, just to make up the things, he is doing some kind of thing. Okay, so that is what exactly called as, and this is like one of the most common challenge that we have faced into the all the large language models. You talk about any large language model, right? This was the most common challenge that we have faced, like randomly giving any kind of responses. So a RAG that we will implement, so this RAG reduces this problem of hallucination significantly. Okay, with something called as a retrieval, with the power of retrieval and generation, with retrieval and generation. And guys, extremely important topic. I really expect from everyone and even suggest everyone So just be stick with this session till the very end. You will learn a lot of very great different insights that are actually available in this domain. Okay, fantastic topic actually. Okay, now this was no, let's say this RAG actually reduced this particular problem significantly. Okay, now imagine, let's suppose you can just now imagine a RAG that is just like a component that is helping you to migrate this particular problem by incorporating some kind of, let's say, custom data into it. Now this is like a bit technical, but now let's try to understand first of all what hallucination basically means. Now see, let's now take an example. Let's suppose simple example can be, okay, let's suppose now you are dealing with, let's say, any kind of financial services. Okay, so in that financial services you will see that providing the accurate information on investments especially. Okay, let's suppose now you are a company, right, and you actually provide your clients with the, let's say, where to invest, where to put up your money, what kind of decisions you should make, right? So let's say a well financial planning of your own money. Now guys, imagine, definitely that is a very very sensitive thing, right? So let's suppose now if a certain AI is saying, okay, now go and invest there, so we should be very much sure, right, whatever he's saying, that is actually correct. Okay, so in such kind of scenarios, if you just ask, okay, let's suppose AI, okay, can you just suggest me a few stocks to invest? So maybe based on some kind of past data, it will just give you some random answer, and which is guys never a feasible option. Okay, so whatever when I talk about such kind of industries, right, let's say investment industry, so it is very very crucial because it has a direct impact with the customers, right? So every single financial thing is a bit sensitive, right? So it has a direct impact with the customer. So if let's suppose now tomorrow you have a company who is suggesting, let's say, based on the AI model, you are suggesting to a people, okay, what kind of stocks you should invest in. Okay, then you should be very sure that whatever stocks are suggested by this particular AI are 100% accurate. Okay, 100% according to your own knowledge. Now I'll tell you one of the best examples of RAG. I'll tell you because like we have personally let's say recently we have been implementing RAG for like now like last 3 years now, but we have actually implemented this on a very large scale. Okay, and recently we are implementing of some basic thing for someone, right? So that also I'll tell you, like how this particularly RAG is actually helping us, right? So then you will get a clear idea why exactly we say that it is like a game changer. So because of that, what happened, this RAG, such kind of architectures will help you to ensure that whatever, let's say information is generated by this particular AI tool, okay, about the stocks, about the bonds, about the mutual funds, like, so that particular information is actually based on the factual data, and it is a risk-free data. It's a risk-free information. Means what? A clients can be 100% sure that, okay, whatever is being told to me, I am 100% sure that that is correct. Okay, so this is what exactly we mean by a simple RAG architecture. Sorry, not RAG, but one of the use cases of the RAG. So when I say, so it is trying to reduce the risk of misleading the clients and the potential harmful, let's say financial decisions, which can be a very very bad thing to, let's say, such a sensitive kind of data. So therefore, hallucinations was like one of the biggest problems that actually we had when we talked about the simple, let's say, classical Gen AI. So whatever we saw till yesterday, right? So that was like a very classical thing, simple prompting. Okay, guys. Now that is done. Now see here. That was just about one thing. Second problem that this RAG actually solves is cost-effective alternative. Now, guys, as I told you right yesterday also. Now see, implementing and or let's say any kind of Gen AI application, right? It has certain amount of cost that is always associated with it, right? Without cost, it cannot work. Because now imagine, let's suppose if you're clicking it for one, if you have got that KPI key, but I've seen that let's say if you're clicking that for one time, there is some kind of charge that is paid. Apply. Okay, some kind of charge is being applied. Now at the same time, now imagine, let's suppose you have the very huge amount of users, let's say 1 million users. Okay. Now guys, imagine, let's suppose now, if everyone starts using this particular LLM, means what you're doing, whatever question that is asking, every time you are hitting the response to on ChatGPT only, or let's say any kind of LLM only. Okay. So this is, one of the very biggest problems usually, the companies have, and even we try to solve such kind of problems in more, let's say broad way, because understand it is never a feasible option, right, to spend so much amount of time just on some kind of, uh, API keys. Okay. So basically RAG provides with something called as fine tuning. Okay. Fine tuning on custom data. Fine tuning on custom data. So you talk about, let's say, simple fine tuning techniques. Okay. Or we can just use something called as pre-trained models. Okay. As I told you, right? Let's say you can use some cost effective things. Let's suppose instead of using OpenAI, you can go for Mistral 7V. You can go for Llama, right? You can go for anything, right? So just like an alternative that we have for this cost effectiveness. Now, a very simple example, right? Again, let's suppose talk about the banks only. Now, imagine, let's suppose now banks always need some kind of, let's say, a simple example could be, let's suppose now a simple analysis, right? Let's suppose what I'll tell you about one simple use case. So, what we did was, let's suppose now we were flagging potential fraud transitions on certain conditions. Right now, what we did now, let's suppose now the thing was, whenever we were flagging the transition to be, let's say, fraud, let's suppose now you did some kind of transition, and as a bank, what I did as a risk analysis manager or as a data scientist, what I did, I flagged your transition because I found some kind of, let's say, some kind of fraud activity, or let's say some kind of fraud thing in that particular transition. Okay. Now, definitely this particular customer will try to call a bank. Okay. So when you call a bank, definitely you should have answer to it, right? You should have, and he'll definitely, okay, why it is being blocked? So you should have a very proper answer for that. So now what's happening, let's say when he's calling to a bank, so now he has to wait for a lot of time. Then eventually, let's say some kind of customer care person will get in touch with him. So then he'll say, okay, that is not my department. I will transfer some kind of call. So whenever he'll transfer the call, then let's suppose he'll ask you, hey, what exactly happened? Why my transaction was flagged? So then, usually they say, okay, now wait, can I keep your call on hold for, let's say, 5 minutes? Let me check it. So then what he'll do, he'll start checking in the whole database why exactly that happened. Now imagine, let's say he only sees, okay, it has been flagged. Okay, and so there are no details written. So now to understand those details, now where he needs to refer terms and conditions or privacy policies. Right. So till the time he will not read about all these things, or he might not know about all these things, he might fail to give the answer to this particular customer care, like customer. Why exactly transaction was flagged. So this is where we actually reduce the 40% of their work using RAG. So now what we did, let's say, now imagine ChatGPT do not have the data about this particular bank terms and conditions or privacy policies, right? It do not have about that. So then what we did, we explicitly passed on this particular data and we trained a custom model on it and they fine-tuned on it. Means what we said, okay, take this particular data. Hey, ChatGPT, take this particular data and now try to study about this particular data. These are my terms and conditions now. Yeah. Now, while passing this particular data to a model, so then what we did, we took whatever, let's say flag transition is there. Now, why exactly the transition was flagged? We will try to go and search that particular condition into this particular terms and conditions, and combination of both of them finally will create one kind of good response for the user using LLM. Here LLM will be passed. So LLM is trying to gather information from here and here, trying to combine that and then finally give answer. Okay, hey, at this particular time you try to do a transition to this particular customer, and because of this kind of activity or which is not allowed in our privacy policies, Because of that, transition wasn't flagged. And these are the steps now you should follow. Okay, that is very simple example. Now I'll just show you here. This is how exactly it works. So what it does now, I'll explain you this in more better way as of now, but imagine it. Okay, so what we did now, let's say we have a PDF over here. Right. Okay. Okay, PDF is there. Imagine, let's suppose now, first of all, let's suppose your whole data is in the PDF format. Okay, let's suppose privacy policy is there. Let's say privacy policy, I have a PDF of it. PDF of it. So now that particular PDF, so yeah, any kind of data is there. So that is stored somewhere in the database. So let's suppose now my company is using Amazon S3 as a database. Okay, Amazon S3 as a database. Now, then I got to know that, okay, that is fine. Then what we do, I want to apply this kind of technique that I told, I want to give the user a response, right? So let's suppose from here, now I got to know, let's say, transition happened at 11:43 p.m., which was from person X to Y. Okay, it looks to be fraud. And, I think we can flag this transition. Flag this transition to be fraud. Let's flag this transition to be fraud. Now imagine, guys, let's suppose now they have flagged it. Now what will happen? Now I want to show this particular thing to my customer very clearly because I don't want to waste his time also nor mine. So as soon as he's getting that particular flag transition, along with that, even the message will go to him. Okay, because of this particular reason, your transition was flagged. Okay. Now imagine what I'll do now. Let's say I got a PDF. So first thing that we do is, let's say we try to use something called as text splitters. Because imagine, guys, let's say it is just like there is a small row, right? There is small, let's say, cave. Okay. So in that particular cave, what can happen? Let's say at a time only two people can fit into that. Means you have to go in a line by line only. Okay, first two will go, then again in the line only, second will go, third will go. Like this line by line only it can go. So it is exactly the same case happens with any kind of model that you try to train. Means it is not possible to directly take this complete PDF, extract the data of this particular PDF and directly pass it to the LLM. It cannot handle that particular data. You always have to split that particular data. Split into smaller chunks, right? Maybe word embeddings. We call them embeddings. Either split into small text or split into sentences. Like this split. Now what I did now here, I first of all converted my page 1, page 2, page 3 like this. I have, let's say, 1000 page PDF. And then I created embeddings out of it. Means what? Text to vector transition has happened over here. Text to vector has been happening over here. Okay. So is it making sense, everyone, now? Text to vector, because see what I told you yesterday or before that also, no algorithm can understand the textual data or any kind of data. The only way is to understand the numeric data. So we have to convert everything to a numerical format. Okay, clear? So now see what I'm trying to explain is, oh sorry, let me switch the tab. Okay, so now see what exactly I'm trying to say now. As soon as I'm done with this one, let's say I got all the embeddings. So what I did now, I stored all those embeddings into my database. Means what? Whatever embeddings or let's say whatever I've got from this data. So I stored it in a database. Now what's happening? Understand here. A user is doing the query. Let's say you asked, okay, why my transition was failed. Let's say it's a user query. Now see, even now if I want to process a user query, let's suppose now how exactly ChatGPT works is understand here. Even when you are querying a ChatGPT, right? So when you ask, okay, tell me about, let's say, coding. So ChatGPT is not directly taking this particular data and passing into their backend, right? So step is what? First of all, it will check the data, then convert into the embedding forms. Then try to search, okay, what are the most relevant things that, which are available in this particular data or let's say on this internet, which are most relevant to what he's trying to ask. And then it will try to search that particular data. And from there, it will try to generate the response. Whatever response is generated, that will be in a vector size only. Now, finally, vectors are again converted to the text. 1 second, guys. Sorry guys, I needed a bit of a small break. Therefore, I just throat is bit gone. Okay. So now see guys, now what's happening? A user is asking a query, right? You can see here. Just a second. Marker is not working. Just a second, guys. Yeah. Okay. Now see guys, now what's happening now? I hope you understood this whole process, right? Now understand when a particular chat GPT is giving you back the response, so how it is giving, right? So now when you're asking a user query, so now that query is converted into the embedding forms, right? Because we can see image textual data cannot be directly converted. So we have to convert that into the embedding forms only, let's say vector form. Then finally, what we are doing now, then we are doing the semantic search. When I say semantic search means what? Whatever this complete data that is been that we have stored over here, right? This data. So it will try to find whatever user has asked query over here. It will try to find from here, okay, what are the most relevant things that I can find from this particular user query with respect to whatever this particular person has already shared as a database. Okay, that is called as top K search. Means what we do, we try to find the most similar people together, right? Let's say, okay, there are two people and who have almost similar qualities to each other. So we say, okay, they're best friends. So how we got to know that, okay, they have similar kind of properties to each other. So whatever this particular user input is there, when embeddings will get, so we'll try to search this similar kind of embeddings into this database. Because what is stored into this database, guys, whatever this PDF data is there, right? 1000 pages PDF data is there. So then we converted that data into embedding forms, and that embedding form is converted into this database. So now what I need to do, I need to find the most relevant answer to it. I need to find the most relevant answer to it, right? Means what, let's say I'm trying to search about mathematics on the whole internet. So when you search about, okay, let's tell me how to prepare for JEE examination. So how exactly Google is doing? So Google to have like millions and billions of different websites, and there are so much of data on Google, right? So how exactly Google is exactly taking you to the same point? That is called as a similarity search. Semantic search. Simple terms, okay? Means what? We are trying to find whatever user query is there, what can be the most similar thing that I can find into this database. And then whatever are the top K, let's suppose if I want to print like a top 3 which are most similar to this user query. So then I'll try to search for over here. And finally understand this database, whatever semantic search that we have got, right? So those kind of relevant pages. Let's say now I got to know. Example. Industry layer. Now see, you have 1000 page PDF. Okay. Right. And let's suppose now you have shared that with the students. And you said, okay, let's say student X came and he said, okay, sir, I have a doubt in this particular thing. So now what you need to do, you need to go and search for all this 1000 pages and see, okay, where exactly that particular thing that this student is asking, where exactly it is stored, right? But at the same time now a student came and said, okay, sir, I have a doubt on page number 3 and 4. Can you please solve me for that? Can you please solve it? So now what exactly happened? Now you exactly know what is your targeted data. Okay, you know that, okay, you don't need to search this whole 1000 pages. Only you need to focus on third and fourth page, because that is where the error is coming from. Means that is where the student wants the information about. So when you know that, okay, you only need to look for third and fourth, means what? This is what exactly we are doing over here. Means after the user query is coming in, we are trying to search which are the most relevant things which are present with respect to this user query in our database, or let's say in our PDF. Okay, example, let's suppose now I asked, okay, when was the example, let's say Sachin Tendulkar retired. Example, okay, I want to ask this. Now imagine, let's suppose I have 1000 page PDF, right? And in the 1000 pages, there are like information about thousands of such kind of different sportsmen. Okay, so now imagine guys, if I now start searching one by one, okay, where exactly I'll find the Sachin, I don't know. He can be at page number 1 or he can be at page number 1000. We have no idea about it, right? So now what exactly this, when I say this semantic search, imagine the semantic search. What the semantic search is doing? It is trying to search ki whatever input that is being given by the user, whatever input that is being given by the user, it will try to search that particular input inside this database. Means it is trying to search, okay, yeah, where exactly Sachin Tendulkar is written, where it is written, where it is written. So wherever it will find the Sachin Tendulkar name, it will try to take all those particular pages and keep it over here. You can see the system query, right? System query. Now we have, now see guys, now what exactly we did now till here? We just simplified the work, right? Instead of searching about, let's say, Sachin Tendulkar into the whole 1000 pages, now what my system did, it just found out that, okay, these are the only 3 pages where, this whole PDF, these are the only 3 pages where we are talking about Sachin Tendulkar. That's it. So now I don't need to pass this whole 1000 page of PDF to my let's say PDF, my chat GPT, right? I only need to pass this 3 now. So now what we'll do is, these 3 plus whatever is your user query. So both will combine and that combination will go to this particular brain. So this brain, now you can just call it as a LLM or you can say chat GPT. Now these pages and whatever question you have asked. So based on that 2 different things, the final output will be given by this particular LLM in very, very smarter way. Okay, this is how exactly the complete system works. So when you are getting a certain response, this is how exactly the response you are getting. But it's just like, now see, on a high level, how it's happening, instead of having 1 page PDF, now like this, you have 1000 different setups, right? Let's say, because see, you are getting, you might have seen, let's say when you use the chat GPT, it will, okay, if you ask something, it will show, okay, searching in the web, searching in the, extension, searching in the website, like this, it will say you, right? So means what now? See, instead of only this PDF, it has a data about every single thing. Like, it is searching that into the whole Google, also Google. It is trying to search into the databases also, trying to search to different documents also. Means what? It is not very broad thing, but basic idea is exactly same. And guys, in simple terms, this is what exactly called as a RAG architecture. Now I'll tell you what exactly it is more in details. Okay, but in short, this is a RAG architecture. Okay, so guys, first of all, before going into the RAG and all, so did you all understood this at least how exactly this diagram is working, everyone? Any questions to anyone? And guys, yeah, feel free to ask as many questions as you can, right, today, because yesterday a lot of questions I could not take. So whenever you get any kind of doubts, please ask. Okay, got the concept. What about everyone? Others? Wonderful. I am expecting everyone might have understood it. If not, you can just let me know. We can discuss it again, right? So now we are still only to a second place now. Like, what was the problem? We talked about cost-effective alternatives. So this is like one of them. Okay. Now, third was credibility and accurate responses. Now let me tell about it what it is. And accurate responses. Now see, when I talk about it, so what exactly we mean by that? See, one of the most standout features of the RAG is ability to generate the most credible and most accurate responses. Right? Because now imagine guys, what you are doing, you are literally trying to connect your own personal data with the LLM, right? So now a LLM has the ability to give the answers on, let's say, the whole Google database. So it definitely has that understanding to give the answers on such a small of your custom data, right? So the amount of like the kind of accuracy that we got from that particular, let's say RAG architect implementations was very, very good. Means once you got it, no, there was no need to change it. Means even humans felt, okay, now, yeah, this is perfect. I don't want to change into this particular part. Okay, so RAG was like one of the biggest evaluation that has happened. So there are like 10 different reasons. I'll discuss one by one every single thing. You should know about it, what it is. So we'll discuss all of them. So credibility and accurate responses is like one of the best things that have happened. Now one more thing I'll tell you guys. Now see, understand why exactly I'm telling you about this. Now imagine, let's suppose recently we have been dealing with one of the clients who are basically into digital marketing. Sorry. Okay, for into the digital marketing. Now just imagine guys how exactly these guys deal is, let's say currently the problem that they wanted us to solve was, let's suppose they were using some kind of third party system. Okay, and they are paying, let's say, yearly subscription to them, yearly XYZ amount they're paying to them. Okay, so the thing was, what exactly it was doing, let's say if you just pass on idea, let's suppose you say, okay, this is a, let's say I want to open uh let's say I want to start a gym business. I want to start a gym business. So now what exactly it was doing as a marketing guy, what things you should know? Okay, what are, how exactly will market this particular gym? What are the competitors that you have currently in, let's say, which country, or let's say whatever area that you're doing, right? Then what is something special that you can offer which others are not offering? So something like this, one whole flow it will just try to generate and will try to show you. So now the funny part is, so like, I usually tell everyone in this today's AI world, earning money is so easy, right? I mean, I'm telling you what exactly they are doing. So whoever are selling the subscription, so what they're doing basically, they're just taking this input. Okay, what idea you want to build and which country it is. These are two inputs. And the thing is, they're asking you to manually put your API, that is your ChatGPT API. Means guys, in that particular case, they have literally designed, or let's say if I talk about us, we can literally design this whole system in 2 hours. Okay, so that was that easy. No, like there is no, what we say, no, like, there is not a single thought of your own logic. There is not a single logic that was written. Simply asking these two things and directly asking, okay, put your API here now, because now they are not using their own API also, because they know that if I use our API, eventually now it's gonna be costing them, right? So why would they do that? So what they're doing now, they're asking a customer to insert the API. Now, when you keep an API and if you just click OK, now go forward. Now it is directly hitting this chat GPT, and from the chat GPT is generating the response. Means it's just like, you go to a chat GPT app and you just say, okay, hey, everyone might be using chat GPT, right? So it is just like, asking, hey, chat GPT, this is, I want to start a gym business, and, I want to start it in the India. So can you just briefly, describe about like what are the challenges I can face, or how can I do the marketing for it? So instead of asking there, so he just used that particular API and use it into this his own interface. Such a simple interface that they created. Simple interface that they created. And like, it feels a bit surprised. I mean, the kind of products that are being sold in the market currently are, pretty broad and pretty wide. I mean, as a technical guy or as a technical people, it's very easy for us to understand like what exactly is happening there. So then we just pinch that particular thing to him. And one thing that he said is, let's say, sir, whenever we are getting the responses from that particular application, understand, whenever we are getting the responses for that particular application, they are never as expected. Means what? If let's suppose, now see, you are giving a certain service, let's say you are teaching someone, right? Now you have your own way to teach that particular topic to someone, right? Now at the same time, if you, let's say, simply ask ChatGPT to explain that particular topic, is it always necessary that you will be satisfied with whatever ChatGPT is saying? Definitely not, right? Okay, he has like completely different and structured way to answer the questions. As a human being, we have like completely different way to think about a certain thing, right? So when they said, okay, sir, so we directly pinched them particular thing. Okay, we said, okay, yeah, you might never be getting a proper responses. Why they will not get proper responses? Because there is no logic that is written over there. Simply what you're doing, simply you're trying to call an API over there. That's it. You're simply asking ChatGPT, okay, do this particular thing and give it to me. So now this is where, the problem started coming. But he said, sir, whatever application, or let's say whatever response we are getting, no, every time we have to sit for 2 hours and edit that whole thing that they know the GPT has given. They completely have to edit that again, okay, with their own thoughts and everything. So now understand, when he says, okay, when I have to incorporate my own thoughts, then he said, okay, sir, I have my own templates to use. For let's suppose if I want to do Facebook marketing, I have different templates, for that, how to do that. If I want to do, let's say, SEO, search engine optimization, I have different tricks for that. Let's say that are written in my own notebook. It is just like, all these JEE advanced and mains teachers are there, right? So they are like UPSC teachers. So they have their own way to, write all the notes and store all the notes, right? So it's just like that. So what they said, okay, sir, I have my own modules, or let's say I have my own templates. I have my own handwritings that I have written. This is the way that I go with every single customer. Let's suppose now if a customer wants to build this app, then what kind of marketing he should do? Where exactly marketing he should do? And what are the things that will help him to get more and more customers and more crowd? So for all such kind of things, now I have my own templates. So when I say that own templates means what now? Now what we'll be doing? We will take the chat GPT only, that is fine. We'll take the API of that only. But now we will try to train the data. We will try to implement a RAG architecture over here. RAG architecture over here. So what I'm saying now, okay, don't worry. You are expecting responses as per your mind, right? Let's say you are expecting, okay, this is how exactly answer should be there. So give us those templates. Let me study about that particular template. Now what we'll do, we'll extract the data from those templates, ask the LLM or let's say chat GPT to study about the data first. And then next time someone will ask you a question, then a response to it. Okay. This is how exactly the simple RAG based architecture works. Right? Means what? You are trying to incorporate your own custom knowledge into that particular data. Now you are solely not dependent on any kind of chat GPT model. Okay, you are not simply saying, okay, hey chat GPT, do this for me. So we know that, okay, as I told you, example, you have to make the changes. So, but now when you try to pass the data, which is very, very custom, right? So at that particular time, you can avoid this part. Okay, so that is the next part. The second very good thing that happened, to this particular thing was domain specific information. Domain specific information. As I just now told, right? Okay, so just now I told you. Now this particular client is now expecting the knowledge or let's say information about his own domain. Okay, I'm expecting, okay, whatever is my own domain and whatever I am thinking about that, I want answer to come in that exact similar kind of way. So that is called as domain specific knowledge. Now let's suppose, so basically what RAG does, a RAG allows businesses to tap into domain specific information with the ability to access the domain specific knowledge bases. Means they have their own knowledge bases, databases, where what company is doing? Company is saying, okay, hey, then now just look at, this is our whole data. This is our whole data. Now what you need to do, apply your own knowledge. You are very smart. You have your own brain. You can give the answers very properly. Study about my data. And next time when I try to ask you a question, try to ask answer in a way that I will get the more domain specific information. I don't want any random responses from you now. So just we said, right, we have to reduce the hallucinations. So that is like one of the ways to do it. Okay. So a RAG can provide users with information that is tailored to their own needs or their requirements. Okay. This is where the classical LLMs will struggle. Okay. So to have the domain specific knowledge, we use this RAG based architectures. Example, understand now. Let's suppose now we have been again dealing with legal industry also a lot, right? So specifically now, basically these clients know they often require advices and specifics, related to let's say all these judiciary systems or what kind of bonds are there, legalities are there. Usually common man don't have a knowledge about it, right? So different legal systems have the unique rules and regulations. Okay, every single system is there. The new rules and regulations are there. So to understand this particular nuisance in this particular, let's say such a crucial representation. Now imagine, let's suppose now if you go to an GPT tomorrow and ask, okay, what exactly is the charges for doing XYZ thing? Okay. Now what it might do? Okay, whatever knowledge he might have, XYZ, he will just try to print it over here. Okay, yeah, this is what exactly will happen. But as a person, now you know that, let's say as a lawyer, okay, this is not a correct option. Now here, let's suppose this law can change into different areas. different countries can be different punishments can be there, right? Different age groups can face different kind of punishments for the same thing. Now in here, what happens now? When I say a word, what I told you now, let's say what? Yeah, like a very effective legal representations means, let's say different legal systems can have the different rules and regulations, right? So this is where the classical RAG will fail. Classical simple generative AI will fail. It cannot give you the responses related to the what exactly that is going on. So therefore, RAG can access the domain specific knowledge over here, such as local statutes, the case laws, or and it will just try to give you the more tailored information to your client. Okay. So okay, everyone. Any doubts to anyone till here? All good? Yes, everyone. Yeah. If you have any problems, right? Just keep asking, right? Sorry. Now, guys, second thing was improved accuracy. Now, guys, first of all, let me tell you, right? You know, one of the biggest problems, let's say we talk about any LLM. One of the biggest problems with any kind of such kind of model is that they are a black box. Now, when I say they're a black box, so what exactly we mean by that? It means that, we have no idea what's going inside the system. There's a one ChatGPT model. So we have no idea how it works. Like inside that, what's happening, no one knows. Okay. It is like, it is like completely a black box. Means what? There is no, there is no such kind of fixed idea. Okay. We are just saying, yeah, the information is being created. It is being converted into the vectors. Then it is being compared and then it is being passed. This is how exactly semantic search is happening. So all these things are just verbally. This, yeah, it is just working fine for all of us. So it's just, okay, yeah, that is how exactly it is. But no one has an idea what exactly is going on. So in this particular case now, a RAG can be a very good addition. Because why? See, it is completely giving you the transparency, right? Means that what kind of data you're passing to an LLM. Let's say you are trying to pass a data about your, let's say, legal system. Let's say you have your legal form and let's say you are passing the complete legal data to your LLM. So now that what kind of data you have passed. Means what? There is a transparency. Okay. So in such kind of scenarios, RAG can be very useful while retrieving the information. It usually retrieves the information from the very trusted sources only, and then it will try to generate some kind of insights from that particular, let's say, such kind of system. Now, the next thing is that context aware generation. Context aware generation. Now imagine here, see guys. Now, when I talk about context aware generation, right now, see here, first of all, one of the very important things that, usually comes to the mind, when you talk about this one is, see now, imagine, let's suppose now you are trying to generate some kind of response. Okay. So the kind of responses that you will get, the kind of responses will be very relevant to that particular industry. Means very relevant to what you're trying to ask. That's called as context aware. Means when you're applying the RAG, we are making sure that the context of the actual meaning or let's say actual sentence that is being passed is not, let's say lost. Okay. We are making sure that whatever the customer has asked related to that only will get the exact similar kind of answer will be given by. Okay. So guys, that is like another thing. Then we have like, fast processing is there. Then competitive advantages are there. Let's say fast processing. Okay. It's very fast to process, right? Means, you know what, let's say if you implement a RAG, what you are doing now, you are simply adding that particular system to your own database, right? So that automatically it will just get faster. Okay. So guys, this is, why exactly the RAG architectures are very, very important. Retrieval, generation, augmentation, as simple as that. Okay. Now, if I now go into the more technical side of it, okay, let's try to go there also, understand here. So get work guys, okay, everyone. So everyone got a fair idea like how exactly this complete RAG is working, or like simple idea about what RAG basically is. So any thoughts you have? Anyone wants to share? Yes, guys. Okay. Seems like everything is good, right? So guys, everyone, the session is going bit interactive or like been fun or not understanding what's the scene? Because see, now a prompting up to certain limit is very, very okay, right? But after certain limit, we have to think about next parts, right? So yeah, prompting and all, it's like up to certain limit, it's totally understandable. But now let's say we have a time, so why not to discuss about, so this is like one of the prompting techniques only, right? What you're doing in this also, you're going to write the prompts only, but just like a more effective way, right? So you're not simply dependent on, let's say, any one of the things. You're trying to add the multiple things into it. Okay. Monotone. Okay. Now, guys, let's move on and understand the core architecture of this particular thing, right? Okay. Rather than explaining such on board, you can take us through the PPT or see. The thing is, the only problem with the PPTs is, like I'll write only 4 lines of things. Okay, this is what exactly is. What's the point of that, right? So when I'm trying to explain every single word by word things to you, so I think yeah, that is how basically I find it more effective rather than let's say going through any kind of classical PPT. But yes, definitely, sir. We'll take care about that, and next time we'll try to come up with the PPT. Sir, too much explanation, and we are losing the track of main topic being discussed. Like, so the main topic is RAG only, right? The main topic itself is a RAG, that is retrieval augmented generation. We are talking about the prompt techniques. Okay, so this is like an last prompt technique that we are discussing about. So that is what exactly it is, right? So whatever things we have discussed till now, we are explaining very to the point only. Let's say now we are talking about the RAG. We are only talking about the RAG only. We are not mixed anything. Yesterday we talked about basic prompt systems. We talked about the prompts only, right? So I'm not understanding like what main topic you have in your mind. I mean, this is the main topic. RAG is the main topic, and that's the only topic that is going on. Okay, it's just like we have to explain what are the different actual things that are actually there. Okay, yeah, there is let's say now we talked about why it is required. Let's say yesterday we discussed about simple prompting. Now, what are the different problems that simple prompts had? Whatever discussed things that I told you right till now, these were the problems that we had with the simple prompters. Let's say simple generative AI. Now, to overcome this particular problem, now we came up with this particular rack system that we have already discussed. We have already told you in one single diagram. This is like another, we can just say, more sophisticated diagram of how exactly this whole architecture works, right? So though I know it is really not important for you all, okay, but it just like gives a very simple flow, right? Like how exactly it is, and eventually we'll try to implement some kind of RIVE architecture, right? Okay. Now let's move on. Now one thing over here is, let's say, to discuss about how exactly this a simple thing is working. Now when I talk about the complete end-to-end system, right? Let's say now when I'm talking about a complete RAG, so how things are going over here, it's very simple. First of all, let's say, first of all, what we are doing now, first of all, let's say we are talking about an any kind of engineer that we have over here. Let's say, let's suppose this is you or me, anyone. Let's say I'm there. Okay. So as a AI engineer, now what I'm doing, I have a specific amount of data, right? So let's talk, take an example of, let's suppose we are trying to solve one simple use case. What we are doing, we are building an e-commerce chatbot. Enterprise. Okay. We are building e-commerce chatbot. Now, in this particular chatbot, as I told you, what is the main thing? We wanted to incorporate all the terms and conditions and policies about all the things. So policy about return, all the things, return, when my order will return, or maybe, let's say what is the return policies, or, what is purchase policies, so all those kind of things, what is about refunds and all the things. So basically all the terms and conditions policies about that. So I have a proper implementation for it that I'll show you. Now imagine in the backend, okay, when we will try to create a simple architecture about it, when we'll try to create a very, let's say very, very simple architecture for it. So how exactly it works? Basically, let's suppose now, first of all, I will take the complete data from them. So what is the data now? Maybe all the terms and conditions, all the different policies about return, exchange, and everything. Right? I'll take all that particular data. Now, first of all, from here we'll go and we'll try to ingest this particular data. So this client data is that we have got. We'll try to ingest this particular data. Now on that data, just imagine we'll just try to do some kind of pre-processing. And finally, after everything is done, we are doing the embedding sort of it. Just now I told you what any kind of textual data has to be converted into the numeric form, right? So this numeric form will be stored over here, and finally will be converted over here, and finally it is stored into this particular something called as vector database. Inside the database we are stored in. Now what's happening? Okay, let's say now my database is stored, right? Now let's suppose now he's a user. So user came and asked, okay, let's say, hey, when my order will be delivered, order will be delivered. Let's say now a user is asking this query. So now what exactly we are doing now? First of all, this user query, okay, this user query, it is going from this over here at first into this Gen AI app, or let's say you can just call this as a, let's say it is trying to convert the database only. So first of all, what we are doing, that query we are trying to convert into the database. Sorry, this embedding form means into the numeric form. Then what we are doing, we are trying to search the relevant information for that particular query. Now here I will go into this database. I'll try to search, okay, what are the different documents that are provided for, return, or let's say order delivery. Okay, what are the different documents which are there or which are shown me for the order delivery. So as soon as I'll get that particular thing, then what I'll do, I will try to combine this document that we have taken from there and whatever user query is there, and we will try to pass it to this LLM, this large language model. Then large language model will try to, let's say get some creative response. Okay, yeah, hey, and here we are getting a response back. See here, we are getting a response back from here. So we are getting a response in human language. Okay, hey, you just have to wait for next 5 days, and within 5 days, your order will be delivered to you. Maybe because of some kind of delay, it might have been not happening, but now within 5 days you will get your order. Okay, so this is how exactly the simple architecture of this whole thing works. Now in here, what you are doing now, see in the simple prompting, what we have seen yesterday, let's say you have this AI application that was there. What we did now, we have our own prompts here. Okay, we have written the prompt. Now let's suppose I have written a prompt. Okay, give me details about, let's say, machine learning. That is what the prompt that we have written. As soon as prompt, what it is now, this prompt is directly going to a GPT, and GPT is directly given a response from here. Means what? We don't have a control over this now. Whatever response that I'm gonna get, I don't have a control over it. Whatever GPT will give me, I have to be satisfied with that. That's the only thing that I can do. Okay, but now in this particular prompt technique, what happened? Now we have just added some kind of brain to it. Brain to it means what? Instead of directly asking everything to a GPT, why not to pass our own personal data? Why not to pass our own personal thing? Okay, I am expecting a particular answer to be in this particular way, but GPT is not giving it directly. So why can't I tell GPT, okay, I need an answer in this particular way? So therefore, I'm passing my custom data over here. See here, this custom data is done. Okay, so this is how exactly the complete simple, we can say, RAG prompts work. Okay, guys. So that was the simple explanation that we have for this complete RAG. So guys, till here, any issues to anyone? Any doubts to anyone? Okay. Okay. Now what we'll do, guys? Now see here. Now, as I told you, we have just a very simple implementation for it, right? I am not taken like a very difficult one. Okay. So what we are doing now, whatever thing I told you, first of all, I'll just explain the architecture, right? And after the architecture is done, then I'll try to explain how exactly we did in very simple terms. This complete implementation is there. Imagine, guys, here, you will see the prompts only. So don't confuse yourself. It is just like a better way to write the prompts. So like I think yesterday, some Dr. Pallavi ma'am asked the same thing, right? Like, can we do it on a custom data? Can we reduce the hallucinations? So this is what exactly it is. The complete RAG is trying to reduce the hallucinations completely. Now into this RAG, there are like 1000 different types of RAGs are there. The kind of problem will come, you will have the different type of RAGs. But that is not our, let's say, main concern or focus, right? So here what we did now, here we just implemented this small, let's say implementation over here. First of all, guys, I'll try to explain you what exactly this whole project is, and then we'll try to explain it, right? Now, guys, here. So I have created all the architecture over here. Okay, like so we can see, as I told you the other day only. So we have, let's say applied this to an enterprise level. So now this is just like an simple replica of that I have created in a more simpler way so that you can understand it, how exactly the system actually works. So rack based prompts kaise likhna hai, how to write that, how exactly deal with it. So you can see it. Just a second, guys. Extremely sorry, guys. Okay. Okay, now see here, guys. You can see a system overview is there. E-commerce conservation AI chatbot is a sophisticated customer support system that leverages the advanced AI technologies to provide an accurate and contextual responses to the customer queries, and the system combines. Means combination of the systems that we have, the data that we have, along with the AI context, we are trying to mix them together and get the responses from there. Now in here, a large language model for a natural language processing, we have used a vector, search efficient for the information retrieval, a knowledge base for storing the data, and advanced reasoning capabilities to answer the advanced queries that we have. Now here we have used COT technique, chain of thought prompt, as I told you, that we have used over here. And along with that, we have used the React based thing also. What both are they are, don't worry, we'll talk about it. Okay. So what are the different technologies that are being used? Python 3.8 plus, OpenAI, Google, API on for LLMs. FISE as a vector database. So what I told you, right? This one. Imagine this one now. So whatever things you are seeing this one, right? Let's say now these things as a vector DB, right? This vector DB. So this is called as vector DB. So there are like multiple databases that you have. You have Pinecone. Okay, you have FISE. Okay, you have Waviate. Okay, you directly have an OpenAI. OpenAI database is also there. Okay, So means what, guys, there are like multiple databases that are there. So the kind of use case is there, the kind of wherever you want to store, you can just store it. Okay. So for the storage, that is what exactly we have. Now to convert this particular embeddings, you can see, right? So either you can directly use the Hugging Face embeddings, you can directly use the OpenAI embeddings. So we'll be directly using OpenAI only. We'll not go into any complicated things. Now see here. Now in the second thing, we have the core components. So let's say we have created a database over here. We have created a knowledge base over here. And I think, yeah, all the explanation is there. You can read about it. The project guide is here. You know what exactly the project is doing, right? So now let me explain you one by one. First of all, guys, what is the most basic thing that I'll need for this project? The data, right? So what I did now, I created and we have just put out some sample data over here. Okay. So see here, guys, you have all the documents over here. They're like very, very huge. Okay. So our return policy returns within 30 days, all the every single thing about the data. Now, let's say you have international shipping will be available for 50 plus countries, delivery time, vary by the location. Customers may apply, we provide customer documentation and, tracking information for all the international orders. So means what, guys, whatever simple you can imagine, let's say this is about an Amazon. So they also will have the same kind of things, right? So that is what exactly we have taken. So what we did, we have simply taken this complete database over here. So it's not only the one, we have a lot of things. So now I'll just show you here. So like this, we have all the documents. So text is there, order delivery information, standard delivery, and express delivery, this one. Then, let's say there are like text, metadata, category. You can see different categories are there. See, shipping category is there. Okay. Delivery category is there. Returns category is there, orders category is there, and membership category is there. So like this, now we have created 5 different categories over here. Because see, now imagine in real world scenarios, these are the only kind of things that you have with any kind of e-commerce site, right? And these are the only kind of things that customer asks, okay, when my order will come, why I'm not able, even I'm a member, but still I can't see my membership cards. When exactly order will be returned, when exactly, order will be delivered, what is the shipping charges, what is the delivery charges. So all simple things, right? So we have created such kind of data. Now in this particular data, now this is like a database. Now in here docs, yeah, now you can see here in this knowledge base, you can see that I have stored all these data. See here, order tracking is there, so complete things are there. Okay, online tracking, log into your account, visit my account. So like this, step by step things are there. Payment methods are there. Okay, how exactly, in what kind of payments that we expect, accept, and everything. See, this is sample data, right? So therefore it's very, very small. We have not taken very, very huge, just for the understanding purpose. The way it will work for the smaller data, exactly same works for the bigger data also. Similarly, premium benefits are there over here. Okay, then product informations are there. Eventually return policy is there, complete return policy is there. Similarly, return policy text is there. Sorry, return policy, okay, 2 times happened. Shipping information is there. So guys, now like this, what I did now, what's the basic requirement? We needed a data. So first of all, we had the complete data at one single place, right? The complete data we have taken over here. See, inside this data folder, you can see I have the complete data. Now in the docs, I have given the complete architecture for you, how this complete project is working, what kind of things have been done. Every single thing is done. You can read about it, all the things. Now, first of all, what we are doing, let's say, now if you go to this particular thing, let's say project architecture. Now, first of all, we have created the entire project architecture in single command. So, fine. First of all, we need bot, databases, models, config, and utils. As you have seen, utils and config yesterday was also there. So, in the models, now what we have done, I'll show you what exactly we did in models. Similarly, now we'll try to create all the necessary files. Okay, chain of thought, reasoning, React. For the databases, I have created knowledge-based database, vector database, right? We have created LLM handlers, means how to handle this. Then we have created the prompt templates over here. Okay. Now, one by one, let's go into each one of them and understand what it is. Now, understand here, guys. See here. Go to SRC. Now, see, we have different things here. We have bot over here. So, bot will go at the end. Before that, let me go over. It's a config. Yeah, utils. Now, here you will see that, guy, I have a different prompt templates over here. Now, what I did now, here we have created different agents for every single type of, let's say, you can imagine for service. Now, imagine get system context. So what is the prompt we have written? You are an intelligent assistant with expertise in answering question based on the context that is being provided. what you should always do, use only information provided in the context. Clear prompts. Think step by step. Be clear and concise. Admit when you don't have enough information. We are solving the hallucination, right? We are not saying, okay, don't blindly give the answers. Admit when you don't have the information. Find the responses in clear and readable way. That is what exactly the first one. Now in the retrieve, what we are doing now? See, now we are doing three different things now here in the prompt. Retrieve, extract, adapt, construct, and think. It's called as a React-based application. Means what we are doing, understand here. Retrieve. First of all, analyze the query carefully. Identify the key information that is being needed or whatever the customer has asked. Okay, customer has asked about shipping, or customer has asked about, let's say, delivery, or customer might have asked about anything. So read that first carefully and identify what he's trying to ask. Then review provided context thoroughly. Review, we are just writing the prompts, okay, nothing else. Second, now extract it. Now pull the relevant information from the context. So whatever, now see, you already thought about it now here in the retrieve. Now try to pull that particular information from that particular database. Whatever you think, it's like very relevant to you. So analyze the query, identify the key information and review provided context thoroughly. Then try to extract the information, right? And then try to adapt and then try to construct it. Sorry, in the construct now what you are doing, and adapt what you are doing, consider how much information it fits, plan the response structure. Means just like we are trying to write the prompts, okay, you can add your own things over here, no problem. And construct finally, let's say build a very clear and logical response, include the relevant details that are there, and use the approach that is being formatted out, right? So that is how exactly this whole thing is working. Now finally think about it. So review the response for accuracy, consider the follow-up questions. Means along with whatever you are answering, automatically based on the thing that he has asked or whatever you have answered, automatically try to ask the follow-up question. Okay, now should I tell you about this one, or now should I tell you about that one? Like that particular. Now you'll see that, guys, in one single whole system prompts, all the different prompts are written very clearly. See here, all the step-by-step prompts are there. Step-by-step prompts are there. See here, all the prompts are written over here. Complete prompts. Okay. Every single prompt has a different work to do. This particular prompt has a work to get the context analysis of the prompt. Here it is working solely on get the follow-up and generation prompt, means get the follow-up questions. This is for the only get response, let's say questions. And this is only for get the reasoning prompt, like what kind of reasoning that you have to add it over there. This is for the initial analysis of the prompt. Means what, we are writing the different prompts for all the different types of all the different types of reasons that are available over there. All the different types of prompts are already available there. Okay, so that is what exactly the first prompt is. Here now what we are doing, guys, here now we are trying to initialize our database. Here we are trying to initialize our database, passing all the data that I have into the database. We'll see whatever documents are there, all the documents are passed into database. Initialize the knowledge base. Okay, now in this, that's fine. Now in the models, now we have created LM handler. Now in here, the way we have used it yesterday, whatever we did yesterday, right? First of all, we created this one, the same thing, right? We loaded the env file, we wrote the API key over here, then we got the API key, and finally we are doing the same things, right? Let's say over here, we are given the prompt over here, we set the temperature over here, maximum tokens also we have set. No, stop sequence is like fine, okay? And finally now what we are doing now, we are passing the prompts over here. So generate a response using OpenAI, and these are the arguments that we have to pass. Okay, so like this, now this complete system is actually working. Okay, complete system is actually working. Now this is like an LM handler. Now eventually, okay, it's fine now. I don't want to go in details about it. So these are, let's say, basically data loaders. Let's say whatever data you have taken. So how exactly you're dealing the data loaders? Now you can see from LangChain, or imagine in AI, in generative AI, there is one simple component called as LangChain. Okay, so this LangChain is, let's say responsible to convert, or let's say doing the text splitting. As I told you, right, it is not possible to whole pass the bunch of text are together. So we'll try to break that text into smaller chunks, and that particular text will be passed into this particular place. Okay, so here you are trying to load that whole document over here, right? Let's not go into details. I have already created simple one. I'll show you that one. Okay, and this is how exactly here the complete LLM is being handled. Complete LLM is handled over here. Got it? Okay, first of all, let me just take the API key. Then I'll take it. I'll show you how this is working now. Okay, guys, just allow me a second to get the API key. Okay. Now let's say I have my own API key here now. Let me just implement this now. So say okay. Let's say our API key is not done. Now a simple thing that we need to do is, let's say we have this main. Let's say not my right. Okay. Now before this guys here, now let's try to understand the very simple rag first, like how this simple rag is being implemented. Okay, in very simple terms. Now first of all, see one by one what we are doing here. No need to write all these things that I have written. A very simple thing I have implemented in one single go. That's it. Okay. Now see first of all what we are doing now. First of all, we are taking all the different required things. As I told you, we are using FICE as a vector database. We need a vector database for this. So FICE we are using. From the sentence transformer, we are taking the sentence transformer that I'll require. Okay. Now getting the embeddings, that's it. Okay. Then I have OpenAI and env file that I'm loading. Now let's say class is simple rag architecture. First of all, we are taking the OpenAI key that I'll require. Second model, I'll take the sentence transformers. So to get the embeddings right, I told you we need to do that. So I have using this particular model from the Hugging Face. Okay. Now if I show you what this model does, right? Let's say, let me show you. Let me open a file for you and I'll show it. Okay. Now see guys. See that this sentence transformer, it maps the sentences and the paragraphs to 300 dimensions. And what is the main idea behind this? Idea is to what can be used for like clustering and semantic search. Semantic search, I told you, right? So we need to do a semantic search with the database that we have. So for this particular pass, we are using this particular embedding model over here. See, this is how exactly we are using it here. See here, sentence is, let's say this is the example sentence. Each sentence is converted. Now, when I'll try to tokenize this sentence, no, finally, and now every single thing is tokenized, and finally, I'm getting answer over here from tree friend. See, the exact same way we are using, right? That is how exactly is being used. Okay. Yeah. Let me get back to my channel. Is my screen visible? What can you say, guys? Okay, okay. Still not visible. Okay, let me see what's happening. What you can see, guys? Uh, can you see my code base? I'm asking. Okay. Okay. Now this is visible. Yes, yes. Oh, that thing is visible. Okay. I thought I'm writing the code here. I thought it's visible. Okay, fine. Now see here. Now we have initialized this particular files vector database here. Means what? To convert this data. Sorry. So what we said now, first of all, to convert this complete data that we have into the vector embeddings, right? So you can see this 5 syntax that I have used, right? And finally, now store the documents and their embeddings. Whatever documents you have in your data, store them and store it in your embeddings. Now here we have initialized this knowledge base that we have. Okay, knowledge base. Load the documents from the knowledge base that you have created. Whatever data that you have, just load it from there and just store it everything at this particular place. So it's like a simple loading the data, finally doing the search query, and finally generating the query. That's it, guys. So RAG, retrieval augmented generation. So first of all, we retrieved the query, then we generated the response, okay, and we process the query over here. Okay, so this is how exactly, in very, very simple terms, we are processing this particular complete RAG application. In this particular way, we are processing complete RAG application. Now, first of all, let me check. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I'll do, let's try to run. Now, see here, guys, our bot has been now initialized. Okay. Initializing the e-commerce customer bot, right? Successfully created. Now, let's suppose now see, type your question. See, everything is now done. Knowledge base is initialized. Everything is done. Now, let's suppose if I, okay, you can ask in any language, right? No need to ask perfectly. It's been so long. You are saying ordered will be delivered, but yet my order for my order is not yet delivered and no update on it, and having no update on it. It's fine, it will understand. Okay, so when you are writing this particular thing now it will try to generate the response in its like very unique way. Means what? It is not it's not a matching that we are doing. Let's say if you talk about a chatbot, let's say 5 years back, what they were doing, whatever answer is already stored there. Okay, check it and paste it, check it, paste it, check it, paste it. No, now here you will see that now it's thinking. So you will always get question has been so long. Okay, what happened now? Oh, okay. I think some issue have been occurring. Let me just see. So it's fine. I mean, see, in simple terms, what guys, the answers that you will get no. So those answers will be like very, very perfect to what exactly you are expecting in your own language. Yeah, I'm sorry for this particular thing. Because of some kind of technical glitch here, I know our order was not delivered. And we'll try to resolve that particular thing and soon we'll get back to you. Okay. Means there will be a proper structure to it. Okay. There will be a proper structure to it. Okay. Let me just quit it and I'll just check it, what's happening. But in simple terms, let me see. We are stripping it here now. I need to check like what error is there. Let me just check it. So I'll just get it done. Okay. So guys, okay. Meanwhile, guys, any issues to anyone? Like one simple thing is there. This the main idea was to discuss about the complete RAG architecture that we actually have, right? So when I talk about, okay, let's say any kind of RAG architecture, it's more about understanding how you can try to build your own system. Means now see here, what exactly you understood through RAG. Let's say tomorrow if you have your own PDFs, let's say tomorrow if you have anything that you want to have, okay, let's say tomorrow you have your own PDFs or you have your own custom data, very easily what you can do, very easily you can do add this particular thing into this database and you can try to talk with this particular thing. Okay, try to talk this particular bot very effectively. You will get the answers in very perfect way. Now you don't need, so what people said, okay, I have uploaded my whole PDF to a chat GPT. You don't need to do that. Right. Let's suppose now what if you have, let's say 10 different PPTs or let's say PDFs. So will you upload all of them there? Definitely not. So if you try to apply this simple RAG architecture over here, so this will just try to help you and get some kind of very perfect examples out of it. Means whatever is you are expecting, no, you will get a very easy and very perfect examples out of it. Got my point? Yes. So this is how exactly we are dealing with this particular case. Screen is not visible. Okay, sorry. Yeah, guys, I mean, this is how it works, right? There is no alternative to it. So when you talk about and let's say an enterprise level things, so this is how exactly they work, and even the simplest way. So we have not gone into any technicality, nothing, no details. In very simple terms, whatever it is, that's what we have. So let's suppose now if I again let's try to see. There'll be some kind of errors. Let's see the kind of response, right? Let's say, okay, it's been quite a few days. I have not received my order despite calling number of times. There is no update. Now I want to cancel it. Let's see now what it comes now. I'll show you, right? Very perfect response we'll get. I hope the error is resolved. I just tried that. Let's see. It's very normal, right? Means it's searching in the database, then again it is hitting that to the API. So the response takes time. So this response time will be a little bit high only. What? Oh, still this error is not resolved. Error processing. String indices must be integer, not a string. Let me just check it. Okay, wait. I just need to check it. Okay, allow me a second, guys. Sorry. Yeah, I know. It's bit common, but still happens. Really can't help it. Okay. I think it was already initialized. I don't know why it's. Yes. Okay. Yeah, see, guys. Now, first of all, before going into any further thing, I just wanted to ask everyone, like, whatever doubts you have, right? Let's say now we have a good 20 minutes now. So, yesterday, whatever doubts were there, please let me know, right? Let's try to talk about those doubts. This will run, don't worry, in some time. But meanwhile, whatever doubts you have, right? So, please post it, right? And, we can just talk about those doubts. Yes. Where exactly it is used. See, now that's what I told you, right? Now, whenever you want to apply some kind of, let's say, question where, you have to incorporate a knowledge about your own, let's say, data. Okay, so where it is being used, let's say the same customer chatbot that I've said, told you. Talk about, let's say, any kind of a stock price, let's say stock companies are there, right? So there it is. So what they want to do, okay, whatever is my own analysis, so I want to incorporate that analysis inside that particular GPT. So in such kind of number, what will happen? So definitely, you will try to get and very clear responses there. So that is how exactly, we try to deal with it. Yes. uh, okay. No other doubts, guys? Anyone else? Any kind of doubts? Yeah, RAG. It's called RAG, RAG. Okay. Uh, Definitely, like, you will get a lot of, readings about it. So, yeah, very much. Yeah, when you talk about educational system, no. So, in that particular case, how you can think about it, let's say you have any kind of, you know, imagine, let's say you have like multiple sources of the education. Let's say, you have different content is available. You already have some kind of data stored somewhere, right? So very easily what you can do, just try to get that data into this format and try to create a simple RAG architecture on it. But yes, definitely when you talk about a very whole few system, right? So then yeah, then it's not only about RAG. So then we definitely need to think about much more things than a RAG. But yes, but yeah, that is like one thing that you can definitely think of. Your own data is there, so managing your personal things, right? On a, let's say, college level or on a school level. So this can be like one of the good implementations. Yes. Just like, let's say you can create a simple uh, assignment checker, something like that. Let's say you try to incorporate your own knowledge about every single assignment that you give, and let's say ask all the students directly upload a file, and automatically it will just try to check, okay, how much, whatever answer you are expecting and whatever answer they have given. So it will just directly, they'll try to give them a matching score over there. Okay. Yes. Was running on board. Yes, guys, anyone else? About tomorrow, I'll discuss with the internal team of ours, and then then accordingly we'll decide, okay, what should be done tomorrow. Okay. So because the prompting is completely done now, there is nothing left in the prompting. So from since last 2 3 days, we have talked about prompting in like very you know in very details that we have talked about, right? Okay. Yeah. Just hold on. Meanwhile, you can just ask the doubts. Meanwhile, I'll just show you. Okay. Okay. We check for your doubts first. I'm a I'm into teaching sector, engineering CSC colleges now past 18 years. Can you suggest a roadmap into data science? Vijay sir, when you talk about the data science, right? So yeah, as I discussed on the first day itself, if you want to get into this domain, right? So one thing I would say now, see, there are like two ways to look at it now. If you want to get into a core data science, or let's suppose no, if you want to only understand about the generative AI. So there are two different things. But one thing is that if you even want to understand the generative AI, the core part is to understand about data science only. So you should start from very basics of Python. Let's start from the Python, understand how Python works. Then eventually after Python, move into a simple thing. Let's say understand about any one database. Let's say SQL, you can understand SQL or MySQL. Okay. Then after that, learn about data analysis, like how exactly analysis of the data works, like simple libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and all those things. Okay. So once that is done now, then slowly move into the core parts of machine learning. Okay. Let's try to understand what are the different machine learning algorithms, how exactly they are built, how to build a simple projects around that. Just refer the Kaggle. Okay. So you will get some kind of data sets there and you can practice it there. Just like simple Kaggle data sets, or you can take any data. Like let's suppose you have any data in a proper format, like rows and columns is there. So like that you can take. So once machine learning is done, then try to learn about some. In machine learning, you have two things. Let's say supervised machine learning and let's say unsupervised machine learning. So try to learn about both the things. Okay. So when you try to learn about both the things, means what? You have the idea about how exactly the classical machine learning works. Along with that, you also have idea about how the recommendation systems work, how clustering works. So these are the core parts of machine learning. Now, once the machine learning is done, then you should start understanding about how exactly the the classical deep learning works. Because after machine learning, you should understand about deep learning, how deep learning works. Now, in the deep learning, you have ANN, CNN, RNN. Three things are there. Read about them. And after that, now start about NLP in natural language processing. So whatever text I told you, right? So whatever things we are discussing over here, okay, all these particular things are exactly related to what we call it as a textual data. This completely the textual data. Okay. So with respect to this textual data now, try to get some kind of good answers, right? So this complete textual data itself is NLP. So now try to understand around that, like how things are working, how things are being built around it. So once you understand that, then eventually, you will just get an simple answer. Okay, yeah, how exactly, you should deal with it. So once this classical NLP is done, then eventually move into the part of understanding transformer based architectures. Okay. So these transformer based architectures are just, imagine a kind of initial phase of this chat GPT. So whatever initial models came of chat GPT, so this is what exactly it is. And now once you understand transformers, then start with the generative AI. So then generative AI will come in that. Now as we are learning, prompt engineering will come, then LangChain will come. After this, now there is a LangChain. After that, then there is something called as agentic AI. Okay, means what? Now whatever thing you are doing manually, right, in the generative AI, now there you have the separate agent to do every single thing. Means what? Let's suppose to extract the data, there is one separate AI agent. To do perform, let's say this whole checks, there is another agent. To do the debugging, there is another agent. To extract the data, there is another agent. So like this, multiple agents are together, and connecting all those particular agents in together, and making them work together is called as orchestration. So that is done by something called as LangChain and LangGraph. Okay, so those two things you can learn. And after that, now recently it's very famous called as MCP servers, right? So I don't know how many of you heard about it, but now in today's world, now they're being more famous. Like MCP servers are been, handled it on a pretty large scale now. So that is like, doing a lot of different changes. So this is the simple roadmap that you can follow. So from the Python, you should start until this particular end. This is how the whole process will go, right? Oh, yes, yes, sure, sure. Always, always. You can just let me know. Uh, sure. How these things work? I mean, it's more of a question like, yeah. So what we'll do is now, okay, yeah, that's fine. I think no one has any kind of doubts. I mean, that's no big deal. Okay. We'll just look into that tomorrow. No issues. How it is taken. No, so see, whatever now see, this is a backend. So you just have to create a front end for it. Means what main applications like where how it will look like. This is like a website form, right? So you'll just use the front end for that. For that, you should know HTML, little HTML about JavaScript, CSS. Okay. Then this Tavilin and all the things. There are like multiple things to JavaScript, right? So those are the things which are more responsible to create this whole front end. Now, whatever thing you're running here in the backend in your server, you can directly run it on your, let's say, system or whatever it is. Okay, so that is how exactly this works. Sure. Yeah, I think that's fine. Oh yeah, so yeah, just thought of adding this. So now let's look at this one, guys. Okay, now see here. We almost have, yes. Just a second now. So let's suppose now, let's say I just had a small debug over it. So let's suppose now I'll just try to add it here. Now see here. Let's suppose now let's try to ask one simple question to it. Let's say, let's say, let's the question can be, let's suppose, it's been so long, the order has not yet delivered despite multiple calls. Either give quick update or cancel it. Okay. See here. Now, how clearly it has in, okay? I am sorry to hear about the delay in your order delivery. To provide you with a quick update, please check your account dashboard to track your order. If you are unable to get the satisfactory update, you may consider canceling the order. If you need further assistance with canceling order, please let me know. Okay, you guys see how clearly now it has been responding. Doesn't matter in what language or what words you're using. Okay, see here. Okay, now see. Okay, fine. Tell me about the cancellation, and it's been quite a long. Will I get the refund back? Any doubts? Yeah. Now see here, guys. Yeah, see, based on the information provided, there is no specific detail on the cancellations in the context. Okay, now see here, guys, we have not provided any kind of thing therefore. So typically, if you cancel an order within a reasonable time, frame before it's been shipped, you should be eligible for the refund. Since the return policy offers a 30-day return window, it's likely that you would get the return. You would receive the refund if you cancel the order within the time frame. So if you have already received the order and want to return it, you can follow this particular return policy guidelines mentioned earlier into the refund nothing. So like this, every single thing is clearly mentioned. Now, if you just okay, tell me about this refund policy. Okay. Now see guys, in short, what exactly I'm trying to say. Now see here, every single thing, a return 30-day policy, and premium can enjoy the free returns while the non-premium are subject to standard free shipping fee of $4.99, let's say per thing, whatever it is. Okay, now see guys, this is like one simple thing. Now at the same time, imagine, let's suppose you upload your own PDF over here, right? So tomorrow we'll do the same thing. What we'll do, let's suppose now we'll try to get, let's say, get one some kind of case paper. So we'll try to upload some kind of case paper and let's try to talk with that case paper. So the way you will answer, no, see here guys, now we are getting such a relevant responses, right? So the way we are expecting, we are getting the responses. Okay, so this is how exactly this complete, basically the bot works. Now in this particular case, I'm only running this simple like sample bot that I've created. Okay, so therefore, you are not getting very proper answers. Okay, still I'm telling you, because there is no reasoning follow-up questions, you are not getting a lot of things, you are not getting, because I'm not running the main server here, I'm not running run.py. There is some basic error that's there. So tomorrow we'll try to run this one. So from that you will understand the power of this one. Means what? The power of prompts. Just we have written the proper prompts over here. Now imagine we are getting a result, let's say answers like this. Now you will get much more better answers than what you are expecting right now. Okay, so this is exactly how exactly it works. Got it? So guys, I hope this was a bit informative session for everyone. If anyone have any kind of issues, please let me know. So just one simple question to everyone, guys. So everyone understood on the complete session? Was it helpful for everyone? Sure, thank you. Yeah. Okay then. Bye bye. Take care.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your valuable class. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m. Thank you. So yeah, dear faculty members, I hope you all marked your attendance. If you missed out to mark, please mark your attendance. As you all know, 60% of attendance is very mandatory to get a certificate. And I know you all have so many questions related to certificate. As tomorrow is the last day, tomorrow, whatever the doubts you have, I will just clear it out. Okay. So I will wait for 1 more minute. If you guys have not marked your attendance, please mark your attendance. Then we will wind up for the day. Okay, we'll wind up for the day. Thank you all. Thank you for joining. We'll meet again by tomorrow at 3 p.m.